and a 3-month contract for young Dylan starting in Hong Kong on January the 1st. Exciting times for what will be the youngest rider in Hong Kong.
He won't have trouble getting rides, but if he wins a Group 1 come Sunday, he's going to have absolutely no problem getting rides here during the stint.
Talk about a chance to put your name in lights before your contract starts. So wonderful opportunity for a 22-year-old who a film was made about Dylan Brown McMonagle when he was 12 years of age, a tiny pony racing rider. And the first line of that video, it's called 5 Stone of Lead, is him sitting on his mum's couch at home with a white mug on that said, "I heart girls." And the first thing he said was, "The dream is to be a champion jockey." That's it. 10 years later, he's champion jockey of Ireland. He's a classic winning jockey. He's an international Group 1 winning jockey. And he has a chance to shoot his name into everyone's thinking for the new year.
Absolutely. So it'll be great to have him here, not just for Sunday, but for the sprint. Interesting runner, this one. Graham, it is the filly, and it is Embroidery, who's running in the mile. She's a horse that is going to wear the colours we've seen here plenty of times, that of Silk Racing. Christophe Lemaire takes the ride. She's having her first group appearance outside of 3-year-old fillies company.
That's absolutely right. And she's had a fairly light season. She's 3-year-old, isn't she? So she's unexposed, entitled to be still improving. The Sugar Show win was 2,000 metres. She was very strong at the finish, but connections clearly think that she can come back to the mile. And hello, have a look at the pedigree. She's by a stallion called Admire Mars, who won this race in 2019, and I think he came back and ran a very good third the year after behind the mighty Golden 60. So she is bred for battle in Hong Kong, and she seems versatile as regards trip. Her rating leaves her with a bit to find against the best of the milers, but as a 3-year-old with not too many miles on the clock, she's on the upward curve.
First Hong Kong international runner for Kazutomo Mori, who trains Embroidery. The only time she's failed, Graham, in her last 5 starts was at 9th 2 runs ago in the Japanese Oaks. That was 2,400, yeah.
So we can give her a pass on the score of stamina. And she, in the Sugar Show last time, 2,000 metres, she raced right on the speed comfortably, toughed it out to win. And she looks just a strong galloper who should be very effective back at the slightly shorter trip. It's just a case of, as you said, not just moving out of your sex division. You're moving against the boys, but you're moving into a deeper pond altogether this weekend.
She does get the £5 allowance too for the female allowance for runners in this race. So Embroidery and also Kisisana, the 2 of the mares and fillies running here in this year's HKIR. Win Carnelian's the other one out there who runs in the sprint and comes here, does Win Carnelian. As we just turn back to
good story.
The sprint.
Win Carnelian. Rated 116 for the record. Kaiying Rising has an international rating of 128. Probably should be higher. 8 years of age now. Ex-miler. Used to run over a mile. Nail Late by Believing. Good British filly at Meydan in the Alquoz sprint. On-pace runner, Mark. No question about that. 49-1 in the Sprinter Stakes last time. But an aggressive on-the-speed performance from Win Carnelian. There was a nice jockey story around that race, Mark. Winning rider, Kose Miura. It was his 127th go in Group 1 company. He was 0 for 126 until that race, but he's broken the duck now. My concern about Win Carnelian, we know he's good. We know he's in strong form. But if he goes on the pace in the Longines Hong Kong sprint, you know who's going to be right around his ears. And there tends to be a price to pay for going into battle with Kaiying Rising in the early stages, doesn't there?
You just don't want to do it, as we saw last time when he moved up and monster beauty waves on the turn and went away from them. And he's worked so well since, has Kaiying Rising, as we see the 2 5s making their way. Embroidery, the filly, on the right, and Win Carnelian on the left. He's been out running his odds, Graham. You said he was 49-1 last time. Beaten favourite in the Group 3 2 runs ago. He was 50-1 behind Believing in the Alquoz.
Yeah, that's right. So the market tends to underrate him, and he tends to say, I don't know my price. I'm going to run really well. So that's what he did last time. I think I would be inclined to think that the horse he beat last time in the Sprinter Stakes, Satono Rev, is probably the better bet to run well this weekend. Not just because Satono Rev's peak is a little higher than Win Carnelian's, but I think Satono Rev's run style, not taking on Kaiying Rising early on, might lend itself to a stronger finish. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And 10 years since Ryan Moore won the Sprint 2. and he rides Satono Rave. He's a 2-time sprint winner, and Satono Rave will be Ryan's ride. He gets all the good jockeys, Satono Rave, Joe Moreira, Damien Lane, Ryan Moore. So he's obviously well rated by the jocks that are happy to jump on board, and you only need to see his record for that.
Yeah, so we've got 2 boxes here. Left of picture is Win Carnelian, Embroidery on the right. Can I just give a mention to a horse who was out earlier on and we didn't get a chance to nose on him, Urban Chic. You know, you come to these big meetings and sometimes a horse who's not on your radar gradually works his way onto your radar. He is one who's coming firmly onto my radar. He's got a few pounds to find with the best of the Vars runners, but I thought he ran an excellent race last time in a very, very, very strong race in Japan. Not beaten very fast, staying on strongly over 2,000. So keep an eye on him this weekend. I think he might be the type of horse who outruns his market price.
He'll be a ride for Christophe Lemaire, who we see on the simulcast week in, week out, winning all of the big races over there as Win Carnelian has switched his work. He was going to be on the all-weather, but a late change, and they're going to send him around on the turf. Embroidery, her work is done. She's just turned around on the all-weather and is making her way back. So
a pretty quiet morning for most of the Japanese, Mark, apart from Rushen Park.
Yeah, which could you? I'm not sure you could have a quiet morning with Rushen Park if the last 2 mornings or anything to go by.
I think he comes out with plenty to say for himself most mornings, that lad. But here comes Win Carnelian now, as you say, Mark, now going quite freely down the far side on the turf, and he's going to go quite freely on the pace this weekend. But there'll be a certain world-class sprinter right next to him, you would think, in the early stages. So he has strong recent form. He's probably better than ever at the age of 8. And once again, he will be a big price on the board.
Yep.
But he was a big price on the board in Dubai, and he was a massive price, 49-1 last time out. Neither of the big prices stopped him excelling. And as you can see, with ears pricked and pointing his toe really well, he's coming down the turf track in grand style.
He is down to the 100-metre mark. You can find out on the website later on through the track notes and all of the information. There is a dedicated section. What times these horses have run, the track notes are there each and every day. And indeed, the information for the local horses.
Nice work,
there also it was, and he's run through the line well. He's still on a strong gallop on the turn out of the straight too. So you'd imagine that the connections and the team that are here with Win Carnelian will be very happy with what they just saw, Graham.
Absolutely, absolutely, and they'll get a bold sight for 900 metres, I think, this weekend. We shouldn't really be talking about track records ahead of big Group 1s. Just win the race. Yep. That's the first objective. But people are talking about possible track records. I'd be a little surprised. I was looking at the times they recorded last week for the 1,200 metres, and it seems that the track is maybe not as fast as it was when Kaiying Rising came close to eclipsing his own track record a few weeks ago in the Jockey Club Sprint. But run style is a potential problem for Win Carnelian because he's not one-dimensional, but he goes really well on the front end. But if they want to go on the front end this time, it'll be maybe 23-1, 23-2, with the best sprinter on the planet next to you.
Yep, for sure. And the weather forecast is fine for Sunday, but on the cooler side. So,
have you ever experienced the build-up, and you've experienced a lot of them, to big international Group 1 races, where there is not one scintilla of doubt expressed about the hot favourite?
No, none. Yeah. Everyone's running for second.
It's sort of dangerous, isn't it? We're asking questions that run the risk of us getting way too far ahead of ourselves with Kaiying Rising. But when you see a horse in his absolute pomp like that, how can you not start, dreaming?
The way he went to Australia and he won the Everest down there, he came back and he destroyed them under a stronghold after the trip. He's worked so well the last few days.
I asked David Hayes, his trainer, I said, if you were to compare him to a human athlete or sportsman in the way he does the very difficult and makes it look routine. He makes it look smooth, silky, easy. He said, well, maybe a Roger Federer. He said, and then he thought again, and he said, but Vivian Richards when he was a batsman. I said, you couldn't find an Aussie batsman then? No, Viv Richards was the guy. And it's that ability to make what is unbelievably difficult, top quality sport, sprinting in particular, is a hard school. And he glides, he floats, he has this buoyant light action that makes him look like he's in third gear when the others are in fifth and hard at work.
And apart from last year where he just didn't settle, he got a bit fired up outside the leader and still won well enough.
Yeah, it was Victor the winner and Derek Lung who man-marked him round the bend, didn't they?
Yes.
And that's the thing, it's adversity, isn't it? Unexpected adversity can be the thing that puts the spanner in the works.
But now he's 12 months stronger.
Yes.
He's 12 months better.
Yes.
You're trying that with him this year and you're going to come off a bad second.
Well, in separating the art from the artist, and when a horse is going to be 105, you're thinking, right, okay, there must be something we can play around with here. But you're looking at, if you're looking for sticks to beat Kaiying Rising with, you're looking at ghosts from the past, and they're nothing to do with him. You're looking at Silent Witness when he was going for his 18th win in a row, 1.2, beaten, but that was over a mile, beyond his very best trip. Golden 60, the impeccable Golden 60, was turned over at 1.05 in a Purton Heist in a big mile race. Was it the Stewards Cup or the Chairman's, whatever? He was beaten at 1.5 by Waikuka. So it can happen, that unexpected adversity, but as we touched on at the start of this little preamble, it's hard to find 1 ounce of doubt in anyone's mind about the world's best sprinter. Some would say world's best horse, what he's going to do this weekend. Enjoyable morning at the track. All sorts of global raiders gone through their exercise. Rusham Park, fiery. Controlled for most of the other international raiders. Paddock School for 1 or 2. What have we learned? Which horses impressed you most this morning, Matt?
It's been a pretty quiet morning, hasn't it? There's a couple of the Japanese prick the ears getting down to the line. I thought Win Carnelian was quite good. Don't think he can get anywhere near Kaiying Rising, but thought his work was quite good. Sosi looked quite good also. Docklands,
I thought. He thought really strong and alert and up for it under Holly Doyle. So the bar is set formidably high in the sprint and the cup by Kaiying Rising, a Romantic Warrior. But every horse in the mile and in the Vase, every international horse, their connections will come thinking, yeah, there's something in this for us.
Yep, absolutely. Graham, great to see you. Enjoy tonight. Happy Valley.
Always a pleasure, Mark. Always a pleasure.
IJC night with the first race coming up at 6:30. That's been Wednesday morning track work here at Sha Tin. Back again tomorrow morning and Friday to focus on the internationals and any vision of the locals that put their paces through a little bit more than what they did this morning. On behalf of Graham Cunningham and the team here at Sha Tin this morning, we'll see you at Happy Valley tonight. Bye-bye.